Emotional Rescue turns 45 this year, and we're kicking off the festivities here on Hangfire with this video where we rank the songs on Emotional Rescue. Emotional Rescue is probably the one album I play the most. This album is really filled with guitars. It's such a guitar album. To me, this album is the peak of what Keith likes to call the ancient form of weaving with Ronnie Wood. What they started in Some Girls really perfected and really crystallized here on Emotional Rescue. One of the factors that makes this album special to me is that it kind of has a great summer vibe, and it kind of provides this perfect backdrop, a soundtrack, if you will, to summer. So with that said, let's get the ranking started. At the bottom of the list, I have to put Down in the Hole. This song is just so tough for me to get through, which is a very rare thing for the Stones to get wrong, which is a blues. I mean, the blues is in their blood. It's in their DNA, yet this just comes off very disjointed to me. And maybe that was the goal. So maybe it's supposed to meet the very dark and complicated subject matter, which could be related to World War II areas and Germany, with the American zone being labeled in the song. Even if the lyrics are supposed to make the song a little bit more interesting, I think it does fail. The harmonica parts by Sugar Blue is very nice, although for many years I thought that was Mick, not realizing it was Sugar Blue. And who knows, maybe in 20 years I'll finally get this song. But for now, whenever the song comes on, it's a groan. Speaking of groans, my next song on the list is Indian Girl. This is not a very controversial pick because Indian Girl happens to be a song that Stones fans, I think, love to wrestle with. I think this song is a big swing and a miss. It does get points for trying because the subject matter is, like Down in the Hole, kind of tipping on some very not so fun things. It's delving into the civil war happening in Central America during this period. Complicated stuff. Mick is on the record saying that his whole point of including this song or writing this song the way he did was to kind of break up the monotony on this album. But this song, I think, is a miscalculation. It's hard for me to pin down just where the song lies in terms of authenticity and it being camp. Knowing Mick, I think it being camp would be a very safe bet. Musically speaking, it kind of gives off a very kind of on the beach island, maybe even Jimmy Buffett kind of a vibe. But leave it to Mick to kind of divert your attention and divert your expectations instead of going for a very loose and kind of, groovy by the beach song. He lays on top of it some geopolitical tale about a little girl who's missing her parents because of a civil war in Nicaragua. I give it points for what it tried to do. I personally don't think it connects. I definitely don't think it belongs on this album. Does it belong on any album? I don't know. Even though we're up to number 8 right now, by no means am I saying this song is on the same level as the first two I just mentioned. So I just want to make that clear that there is a huge leap here. And at number 8, I'm going with Dance Part 1. Like I said, having the song this low on the list really misrepresents this song because I really love this song. It's a fantastic groove brought to us none other than by Mr. Ronnie Wood. It's basically his riff. That's him on bass on this song. In fact, Ronnie Wood is on a lot of bass on this album. This song kind of came out of a jam, and Keith was very happy to kind of keep it that way. Here's Keith on Dance Part 1. I saw Dance as more of an instrumental, like Shotgun. And Mick immediately came up with reams of paper and lyrics. I thought it would be a minimal lyric, and Mick comes up with Don Giovanni. And what Keith is referring to there is that this song has kind of like a sequel. There's Dance Part 1 that's here on Emotional Rescue. And the sequel to the song, or the continuation, is a song called If I Was a Dancer, or Dance Part 2, which they put on the compilation album Sucking in the 70s. This album is actually chock full with a lot of great lyrics and great writing. There's only one verse here on Dance Part 1, but it's still a good lyric. A poor man eyes a rich man, denigrates his property. The rich man eyes the poor man, envies his simplicity. Again, leave it to Mick, where he's got this funky, great dance track. And, he could be talking about, partying all night long, or something about girls or drinking or doing drugs, and, a typical party song. And he puts something that's thought-provoking and something that's just not what you'd expect. At number 7, I'm putting Send It To Me. Wow, what a great intro. It's a very bizarre guitar intro. It's this dual guitar parts by Ronnie and Keith, and it's this climbing sound that is super unique and really kicks off the track, which is a very reggae-infused track. And the song obviously is not a masterpiece, but we have a very great performance by Mick Jagger here. In fact, this album is kind of chock filled with a lot of great characters. And on this song, you've got someone who's, writing a letter, kind of waiting for it as a mail order bride, and just send it to me. And there are so many great deliveries and lines in this song. It really is one that you just have to kind of let it play and sit back and just be entertained by Mick here, because he's really hamming it up and just being so fun with this performance. Charlie comes through so well. One of the things I've talked about many times about this album is just how beautiful Charlie's snare sounds on this album. It really is something to enjoy, because this album, I would say, next to Black and Blue, are two of the best sounding albums in the Stones catalog in terms of sonics, in terms of an aesthetic and the production. The audio fidelity is very high on those two albums, but very good moments on this album, and Charlie sounds great. I do love the bridge on this song. It's a very dreamy vibe, and it's a great blend between reggae and R&B. It's super 70s, and I just love it. Here's Chris Kimsey on Send It To Me. I remember it being very, very long, about 12 minutes long. I had to chop it down to whatever it ended up being. I think in the 12-minute version, there were like 19 or 20 verses, and we just picked the last verses out and chopped it all together. Next up, She's So Cold. Now, lyrically, obviously, this song doesn't really have much there, but it's all in the performance. It's all in the hands, and it's all in the muscle. And say what you will about the song, it's a fun party song, and to me it's a bit of a guitar orchestra here. It's just jam-packed with guitars flying all over the place. It's fantastic to listen to with headphones to really catch everything. This track is really the Stones on all cylinders, and they couldn't sound any better. This one is sort of like this laid-back, mid-tempo rocker, but it has a giddy up to it, and it's just fun to listen to all the way to the end. It was beautifully recorded by Chris Kimsey and team, and like I say, easily one of the best sounding Stones tracks in their catalog. At number 5, I'm going with Where the Boys Go. I just love this song. It is so fun, and one of the few times that we get Mick Jagger with his kind of, British Cockney accent. It's super hammy, super big and campy. Ron Wood again is on bass, and it's a guitar fest, this song. I think everyone sounds great. It kind of sounds like it comes from Some Girls. The drums here are not as crisp as they are in some of the other tracks. But again, it's super fun. The background vocals are also great. No credits on who the female background singers were, but apparently it was some random group of women that Mick and the team found down the street from the studio, and they say, hey, you want to sing? And next thing you know, they're on a Stones album. Pretty cool. But this one's always been a favorite of mine. At number 4, I'm putting All About You. Very tough to put it in this spot. I could easily bring it up a few notches depending on the day, but for today, I'm putting it here. And nevertheless, this is one of Keith's best songs ever. You could have your happies and you got the silvers and all that, but you must include All About You on that short list of Keith masterpieces, and this is one of his. It's a huge departure for Keith and the Stones here, this kind of late after hours jazz club, blues club, smoky nightclub vibe where it's like everyone's gone home and it's just the singer and his band up there doing kind of like a lamenting Frank Sinatra, a bar song. And what makes the song interesting is that it's really this pastiche of Anita Pallenberg and Mick Jagger rolled into one. Keith has gone on record saying that it's likely more about Mick Jagger than anyone else. And it's tricky because as you read each line, you could see all these lines being attributed to any one of those people, Anita or Mick. You can make yourself believe that it's all about Mick, and I think that's there for the taking. There are so many great lines in this song that really makes you kind of grab your chest because they're just murder. One that always stuck out to me, that always resonated, is the line, "I may miss you, but missing me just isn't you." Oof. Just nice. Like, the whole song is just this. It just cuts to the core, and whoever is on the receiving end of that, good luck to them. Keith is all over this track. He's playing the guitars, obviously. That's him on the piano. It's him on bass. And of course, Bobby Keys doing some fantastic stuff with the sax. At number 3, Let Me Go. This one is sort of like a Stones hidden gem. If there ever was a hidden gem, they only played it during the 81-82 tour, never returned on stage, but it's a great track, and another one, Guitar Fest all over. Let Me Go is just so breezy, and a lot of great guitar work by Keith Richards especially. Again, more great performances here by Mick Jagger, just dropping these great lines, so effortlessly. And it's just a great band song. It's super fun. Again, a great summer track, great to put on in the car, at a party. It really moves. Great lyrics. Overall, a hidden classic. These last 2 spots are very tough. I wrestled with these 2, but at number 2, I gotta go with Summer Romance. I think this song really came out of nowhere for me. I don't think I would have rated it as high as I am now if you asked me a couple years ago or even just a couple weeks ago. But as I revisited Emotional Rescue, this song really climbed up the ranks, and it became one of my absolute favorites that I couldn't stop hitting repeat on. After the song was over, repeat, repeat, repeat. Again, another strange guitar intro by Keith and Ronnie here. The song was also from the Some Girls sessions. For me, this song checks off everything. Great lyrics, a great performance by literally everyone in the band, and it just has a very cohesive sound to it. I highly suggest everyone going on YouTube and typing in Summer Romance, alternate takes or early demo, and listen to the early versions of Summer Romance. But then you listen to how Mick eventually massaged the lyrics and massaged the performance, and what came out of it was a very textured and very amusing and fun vocal delivery. I mean, you give these lyrics to literally anyone else in the world, there's no way anyone could deliver those lyrics the way Mick does on this song. I mean, lines like "sucking up the teacher trying to get an A, pass." That little pause and the way he punches pass. There are many moments in this song where he kind of jolts and stutters through these lyrics. The cherry on top is the background vocals, which are great fun, and really for me kind of hammers the idea home that it's a very band or a gang of guys sound on this track. And at the top of the list at number 1, I'm going to put Emotional Rescue. Yep, I'm sorry, but that's where this song goes in my book. I regard this song very highly. I think it's one of the Stones' best moments in their catalog. It's super unique, and it's super fun to listen to. If there was ever a character that Mick Jagger conjured up from the ether, you've got a couple of them right here on Emotional Rescue. It took me a long time to find the comedy in this song. It's so obvious and so in your face that Mick is having fun with himself and with you. And Ronnie Wood is laying here what is easily probably his best bass line he's ever performed in any band at any time. It is one of the funkiest and ear-grabbing bass lines ever in the Stones catalog. As a track, this thing draws you in, pulls you deeper and deeper into this little jungle of a song. And all the while, the Stones are taking care of you with Charlie laying down that great beat, Ronnie laying down fantastic bass line, and Bill Wyman on the synthesizer adding some texture in the background very lightly. Hard to say where Keith is on this track. I think I hear him in the background vocals. So if there's any place I would place Keith, it would be around there. There are very little to no guitars on this track. And I don't know, for me, the track works. It shows off what the Stones can do, which is they can make you move and they can make you smile and they can entertain the hell out of you. John Lennon on the song Emotional Rescue. Take Mick, for instance. Mick's put out consistently good work for 20 years, and will they give him a break? Will they ever say, look at him, he's number one. He's 37 and he has a beautiful song, Emotional Rescue. It's up there. I enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it. Mick on Emotional Rescue. I wrote that on electric piano in the studio. Then Charlie and Woody and I cut it immediately live. It was all done very quickly. I think the vocals could have been better. It's just one of those recording studio things. You would never really write a song like that in real life. It comes out in the studio because it's all ad-libbed, the end part. It was never planned like that. Yeah, it's all a joke, really. So with that being said, this track will always be a favorite of mine, and I truly think it's one of the Stones' best moments. For years, I had always heard people dismiss Emotional Rescue, saying that it's basically, Some Girls Part 2. And a lot of people saying that most of the songs came from those sessions. But technically, only one of them truly did. Summer Romance did originate in the actual sessions leading up to Some Girls. But Where the Boys Go first appeared in a late 1978 session, after Some Girls was released. So this entire premise that Emotional Rescue is sort of this bag of leftovers is blown out of proportion a bit. And that's the reality of it. The rest of the songs on Emotional Rescue were all recorded in 1979. So all in all, out of 5 stars, I give Emotional Rescue somewhere between 3.5 and 4 stars. I want to lean towards 4. Songwriting here is not as crisp or as weighty as their best works, but what we have here is an album that sounds incredible, not just in terms of audio, but in terms of a band. The band is cooking on all these tracks. So what are your memories of Emotional Rescue? Is this one that you heard a lot back in the day when it first came out in 1980? Put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Hangfire.